Hi, my name is Matt Beringer. I'm 45 years old from Roy, Utah. I'm an ex-professional BMX rider. I was professional for 17 years. And hey, I'm gay. I don't know if that cracked up too much. Even to just say that is just still funny to me because I've always hated labels, you know? I am bad at being gay. I don't listen to ABBA or, you know, like the culture of it's not in me, I guess. It's funny to say that. That's horrible. That's a bad shit talk. I shouldn't bash ABBA. I love ABBA. It's the stereotypes people have of somebody that's gay. The movie Birdcage. Flashy, crazy, flamboyant. People that are flashy, crazy, flamboyant, they're brave as hell and, you know, have to go through a hell of a time with any of that, and they've been able to be themselves and be above all that stuff, kind of like what that movie puts out. When I was fully in the closet, it was like a kind of a double life thing where when I was around everybody, when I was on contests, when I do trips with people, that wasn't me. It didn't exist. If it did, it was going to be the end of the world, biggest deal ever. Compared to after I was out to everybody, and it's not a big deal, and people are just like, that didn't matter. It just kind of like was this weird roadblock to get over.
I don't feel like, you know, Matt being homosexual basically like defines him. Your personality is so diverse. Everybody's is, including Matt's. Matt's not just gay Matt. He's Matt.
Matt Beringer is definitely macho. I don't want to describe him as macho, but he's just like a burly dude, you know? He's like intimidating at first, but as soon as he opens his mouth, you know, he's just like the nicest dude ever.
He's sentimental, as you probably have seen his hoard of things that he has at his house. I think he has always been a good friend to his friends.
When I think of Matt, I always think of him as being really funny. That's the main personality trait that I think of.
Fucking Metallica. Let's go fucking ride.
He's a hair metal guy from the beginning. I feel bad he doesn't have his hair, you know? He'd be throwing that hair around. Sorry, Matt.
He can flip a switch and put on a show for people. He can entertain a crowd of thousands of people, or he can entertain a crowd of you and him.
Like when we went out to the salt air with the ramp, trying to front flip off at the flat and landing on his back, and it was snowing. I think he had a mask or a wig on.
Matt's riding is a direct reflection of his personality and his character. It's exciting, it's weird, it's unconventional.
If I had to use one word to describe Matt, it would just be freestyle. You know, Matt, he's not a guy who's concerned with like doing tricks that other people are doing, you know, what's trendy, what's going to be perceived as cool.
Like usually if he has a picture in a magazine, it's not any trick you've ever seen anyone ever do before.
I'd compare Beringer to the Harlem Globetrotters, man. Like, nothing but trick shots, you know?
You've been around BMX at all, anywhere, when you think of Utah or Salt Lake, you think of Matt Beringer. You smile. Most people probably smile.
There's a lot of creative dudes from Utah, and I think we could kind of attribute a lot of that to Matt Beringer.
When we go riding, we're just acting like little kids and like having fun, and like a lot of people in BMX still, like I don't know who their girlfriend is or what she looks like or who they hook up with or anything, but when we're on our bikes together riding, it doesn't matter. That's the subject. That like is just all we think about or care about. When did I know that I was gay? I was so in denial of actually saying I'm gay for just so many years. When did anything start happening? It was just early teen years, like any other kid, I guess.
Matt didn't give one hint of being a gay man. He was open enough to feel like you knew everything about him, and at the same time, like, real mysterious.
I mean, he went to dances with girls at school when he was in high school. They were usually girls' choice. He always seemed kind of shy around girls, but I certainly had no clue.
I mean, maybe it's because I'm a bad friend and didn't pay attention, but I had there was not, to me, not one sign.
Every state, every city, and every person inside BMX is from somewhere different. We all believe different things. We all deal with different things daily. You know, my life in Austin, Texas is very different than someone's life in a different state. But he lives in a very unique place in Utah where, like, there's, you know, religion is a pretty big deal. I think that's probably pretty hard.
There are a lot of LDS people, and they definitely, like, have a lot to do with the rules of different things, judgments of different stuff.
If you're not in that circle, it's very easy to feel like an outsider.
The Mormons I know are really open, but that's not how all of them are.
People that are of certain religions that have big families, they'll come out to their parents and their parents will disown them and they'll be on the street.
My neighbor that lives across the circle, his son came out. That was like frowned upon or whatever, and it's like, dude, and he's fully embraced it, and he was the bishop.
It would have definitely been really hard to be on that first wave of people that are gay to come out here.
I was like an underground, like undercover agent that hears what people would say all the time.
BMX culture is super masculine. I think sport in general is always going to be that toxic masculinity in there. I know people hate hearing that, but it's true.
A lot of people who probably got into BMX, football didn't speak to them, baseball, these quote unquote like normal sports, you know, didn't speak to them. So you would like to think that there's a lot of free thinkers in BMX riding. I would like to think that too.
There's a lot of narrow viewpoints for people, and I mean, you know, I don't know if we want to talk about this kind of, there's a lot of homophobia and a lot of bigotry in BMX.
It's not like BMX is like a true representation of the diversity that's in society, you know. It's very, you know, white, heterosexual, male-centric.
For example, like, people will come up to me and be like, yo, you see that chick? If they don't know me that well, right? And it's like, obviously I'm not in that.
Homophobic slurs, you know, you're this, you're that, if you don't do this trick, or you gotta, like, man up, you know?
You don't have to always be this tough presenting figure. You can fucking do anything. You can explore gender, you can explore sexuality, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be. And me in my situation, like, BMX fucking taught me that that wasn't possible.
I think it's just scary to know what everyone is going to think. I think he knew what some people would think.
I was really back and forth, double life, like, basically. I would tell my parents I was going on a BMX trip with my friends, and I would tell my friends I was going on a family trip with my parents, and I would disappear for like 4 days. No talk to family, no talk to friends, no nothing.
I'd always get super weirded out when he would just all of a sudden leave and not say anything. Like, where are you going? He'd be like, leaving.
There's people I knew that, you know, like, that I basically had a relationship with, but it wasn't.
And I was finding out on the regular that he was down here in Salt Lake, but then was never telling me, never coming around. I don't even know how I'd find out, but I would just figure it out one way or the other. And it started really bumming me out because, like, one of my good friends who I like to ride bikes with was close and never talking to me about it.
You know, I can't believe I didn't randomly run into somebody and they're like, hey, Matt, who are all these people?
So I started making all sorts of jokes to him about it, or what he could possibly be doing in Salt Lake. And then once he came out that day, I was just like, holy crap, like, that's what you were doing. Okay, now I get it.
Anytime anything happened or I had any thoughts, it was like not somebody I was gonna, you know, wake up the next day and have breakfast with that would be part of my family and know my parents. I would, like, come back to the BMX world and the apartment at the time, or the house, it would just be like, never again, never again. It didn't happen. I'm not gay. That's not a thing. Last time ever, every time. And it's just like, drive me crazy. It's not healthy. I got all this stuff going for me. I got this awesome BMX house. You know, the flicks, tricks, ramps, and the jumps, and everybody wants to go there, and team trips, this and that. And I picture all this shit in my head, like, I'm going to do a team trip, and people are going to be weird, you know, like, oh, let's put Matt in his own room because we don't want him to, like, mess with us. Like, shut up, get over yourself. I'm attracted to you. I don't know, like, I just picture in my head all these people are just gonna hate me, or like come to the house and be like, oh, we were at the gay guy's house.
Definitely saw a period of him where he was just like ready to burst at the seams. Nobody knows why, we just all think he's losing his mind. My whole BMX career, I'm like, have a great time, fun, goofy tricks, and all these people love me, and it's just in my head, like, if you guys only knew, you would hate me.
Emotionally, psychologically, hiding your true self will fucking fully break you down. It took me to the darkest places I've ever been. I feel like he was in that for a lot longer than I was. That like breaks my heart thinking about that. Like, it's pure hell. Living in that mindset is just one of the most fucked up, like no one should have to ever go through anything like that.
Too many people commit suicide over that. That's horrible. I was on the edge of that, and it's crazy to think that. You're like a lost soul. So I do a trip to California, and I did this several times throughout the years. I'd go out to Southern California, just hop in my truck and just drive out there by myself and go stay with different people, be in the BMX scene. So I go drive this weird way over that goes all around Lake Mead, and then it ends up going over the dam. I just see the thing as like a gigantic cement vert ramp. You know, the edge is just perfect cement. That just kind of gets in my head that that's what I would do if everybody knew. Pull my bike out of my car and just pop up and just, everybody knows I'm rolling in on this thing, and I'm gonna ride it down straight to hell. You know, I was just so much in my head, like just so bad. I can't even believe that I thought that way. My dad was police in my town, and he dealt with some shit. He had to go to places where people killed themselves, and we would talk about it. What he would say that always rang in my head is that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. People act on it. People drive themselves so crazy and heat of the moment, and they're gone, and nobody knows why. Everybody wishes they could have said something to stop them. Everybody wishes they had another time to say they loved them. That would have been me doing that to everybody I know. I couldn't do that to everybody I know.
I mean, the fact he actually drove there and sat there and pondered it, that in itself says so much. Like, how much it was hurting him to not come out and how scared he was.
That just broke my heart. You know, he was worried that he would lose us if he told us.
So when I get back from that trip, you know, and I hadn't totally lost my mind or done anything stupid, because it's like ridiculous to think that I even thought that way. And then I just end up go to the gay bar in Salt Lake, and, you know, just me still being kind of crazy in my head. But then I met Shane, and that's who I'm still with. That was really the first person I said I love you to, the first relationship I was in. That's something I never thought would have happen, but that's what ended up happening.
A lot of people, their story of like kind of coming out is usually just, they'll start telling their friends, they'll tell their family, and that's mostly it. When you do have a little bit of a public platform and you do have a little bit of a following, especially in this age of social media and stuff, like people do want to know what's going on in your personal life. For myself personally, to be able to feel comfortable in my skin, I had to tell everyone just so that I could move on from it and I don't have to think about it anymore.
Like I said, the reason why I wore the Judas Priest shirt, man. Think about Rob Halford. That guy had to come out to heavy metal. Holy shit. These are like the most hardcore, badass, like rocker, long-haired dudes, and you're their hero, and you're like, hey, that's how it is. And they were like, we don't care. Hell yeah, dude. Rock on.
A lot of people actually don't understand it too, like at all. They're like, oh, why do you have to do this? But you have to do it to be able to relieve all this pressure so that you can live your life normally.
I just wanted to like snap and stand up on the roof and be like, hey, everybody, guess what? I just wanted to just get it over with.
Yeah!
Holy shit, dude.
I'll take the fucking one-footed lander. I don't give a fuck, man.
It wasn't like I just came out all at once to everybody. It was really gradual, like through the years.
I have something to tell you. He kind of told me, he's like, I'm gay. Kind of froze for a minute, and then I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, I hope you know I'm not gonna treat you any different. We're friends, dude, like brothers.
I became so good of friends with so many people because of that. You just told me something that you don't tell anybody.
Sweet, Matt. I understand you, I think, a lot more. Like, I understand why you were fighting.
When he came out, he told me, he was telling me that it was really tough for him to tell me in general. He had pretty much roughly told me why the way I act all the time and whatnot made him think that he couldn't tell me. It definitely helped me realize things about myself and maybe change the way I talk to my friends and whatnot.
It really opened my mind that somebody like Matt, who, you know, I mean, such a masculine dude, works on machine shops, could take a beating on the bike, was a wild man, a stunt man, a crowd pleaser. It just really opened my mind to just how different everybody is and can be, and the fact that we all have stuff that we're working through internally and stuff like that. It just really was a mind-opening experience, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.
We kept expecting him to go home. You know, he dropped us off. He's sitting at my counter, and he just kept sitting there and sitting there. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, what? Something's up. And finally I said, do you have something to say? And they told us that he was gay.
It was like a shocker for them because they had no clue at all. But they're so supportive, both of them.
It's just who you are, and that's what it is. It's just who he is, and we love him for who he is.
2011 or 12, around there, Albion magazine comes out. And so they came out to do an interview with me, and I got drunk, and I just laid it all out there. So I'm back and forth with the guy that came out and interviewed me, Stephen Bancroft. I'm like calling England. I'm like, fuck it, do it. Just run it. You know, like, no, don't do it. I can't do it. Don't, you know, so eventually I'm just like, you know, write other crazy shit that I said, but just leave that out. I'm just not ready to have everybody in the BMX world read it out there in a magazine. In my head, it's just the end of the world. You know, it's the end of who everybody thinks I am. And it's like, who everybody thinks I am is who I am right here. Here I am, I'm Matt, you know, like, it's just something about me you didn't know, that's all. You know? It kind of took me getting out of the house and my BMX career being over before I had the courage to just be like, hey, everybody, this is how it is. So I've been friends with TJ Lavin since '97. TJ was doing a podcast called Anything Goes with TJ Lavin and Forrest Griffith. TJ is like, Matt, you should come on the podcast and tell your story. It'd be really good for a lot of people. I'm a gay guy in BMX. It's funny to say this on your podcast. I told you when we were getting married, you were like, send a picture, put it on social media. And I'm just like, nah. Thanks for making me get real with all this shit, though.
Hell yeah,
because
man.
I never do. And I don't know, everything's just normal. It's not something I talk about.
Everything is still just normal, bro. I'll never not love you.
Before I came out, it was like, everybody like, Matt's gay, Matt's gay, Matt's gay, like, and label me. Like I said before, I hate labels. And then after I come out, people care, but not negatively against me. It's not like, you know, everybody all of a sudden hates me.
So I guess if this is constantly on your mind as how I'm going to tell my parents and how I'm going to tell my friends, and am I going to lose my job because of this? Are they going to accept me? It would be all-consuming. And once that starts to be out in the open, there's got to be a big weight lifted off your shoulders, and then you can be more of who you truly are. And Matt's a good friend to people, empathetic and sympathetic and imaginative, all the things that make up him. And his sexuality is apparently just a small part of it, you know.
I guess maybe that's a lot of the shit that I went through. Couldn't be honest with other people so much that I wasn't being honest with myself. Maybe I was the hardest one to come out to.
When you look at Matt on a bike, he's always been himself. To see him be able to personally be who he is in front of BMX culture, you know, all these BMX riders, it's inspiring.
Well, like we talked about earlier, Matt's a creative rider, you know. First one to do a front flip, first one to come out with his sexuality. So Beringer just owns so many of very first, you know. And
he's just helped so many people. There's no doubt about it. Like, even just myself, like, just helped me just want to just be who I am and not hide anything about myself. Like, it's just, he's proof to just be who you are.
Let's just talk about the most terrifying thing you could think of. Let's have a conversation.
Right. But it's out there now.
No, it's good now. Now it's like, I'm good.
There's a lot of other gay people that haven't come out, you know? And it's, for
and
you
it's like,
to do this, it's huge. Even though there's been other people who have done it in BMX and everything.
Yeah, not the first.
But it hasn't happened to like someone that's been in the limelight, like in the prime of their career.
At the peak of their career.
Yeah.
Because 10 years ago, you couldn't do this.
Yeah.
I'm 26 now, coming on 27, and now I get to live my life. There's no more pressure. I don't have to be scared. Like, all my friends know I can move past this and grow instead of just like waiting till the end of my career. Shout out to anyone who had to go through that.
What about the riders that kind of came before you?
Like, that's the only reason I'm sitting here is because of other people's stories.
It's pretty crazy because Matt's story had actually had a huge impact on my life. Even if I didn't really know it at the time, 14-year-old me at a skate park in Canada. And I found out through someone in a conversation. Like, oh, hey, did you know that, like, Matt's gay and stuff like this? And then that was it. Because that was the first time I ever really heard of it in our world. Starts this little, like, journey of my own self-discovery. So hearing about his story was, like, kind of everything.
I think for anybody that's got anything that's driving them crazy and bottled up inside that they don't feel like they can talk to anybody about, reach out to somebody. Say, look, I need somebody to talk to. This is what's driving me crazy.
Getting to live and grow through this now, it's like I look at people differently.
Yeah.
You have no idea what people are going through.
Yeah.
Like, no idea the mental turmoil they're in.
If I would have ended myself when I was going crazy, I've had so much of the best times of my life since then I would have missed out on, and that's just thinking about that's just, it's just sad to me. It sucks. It's like Butthead said to Beavis, sometimes stuff has to suck, but then when it's over, it's cool. When it's over, it's not end of it all over. Get past the shittiness and then it's cool. Look forward to what's cool. You know, take care of yourself and, like, life's good. Have a good time.
Go.